speaker, take this opportunity to welcome our today's speaker, Mr. Swapnil Bandwal, sir. I would also like to welcome Honorable Principal Dr. S.B. Somani, sir, HOD of IT Department, Dr. A.S. Manekar, sir, Faculty Sponsor of ACM, Professor S.D. Padia, sir, Faculty Advisor of ITSA, Professor B.R. Chincholkar, sir, Faculty Coordinator, Professor S.S. Muddalkar, sir. We all know that cloud computing is one of the booming technologies in today's world. Cloud computing is the use of hardware and software to deliver a service over a network. With cloud computing, user can access files and use applications from any device that can access the internet. So, I would like to hand over today's session to Mr. Swapnil Bandwal, sir. He is a cloud architect at Etisalat, Dubai, with a cross-functional experience of 10 years in organizational IT infrastructure across the domain of banking, retail, travel, transport, and healthcare. Specialized skills in end-to-end IT infrastructure management, cloud strategy and security, and many more. With expertise in various key technologies like cloud automation and management platform, public cloud platforms like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, and Microsoft Azure, and many more. He is also an alumni of our college. Hand over to you, sir.
Uh, very good morning to all of you. Thank you, Shreya. Thank you for introducing me here. Pleasure meeting you here, everyone. Okay, just a minute. Let me turn on my camera. Okay, hello guys. Hope you all are doing fine. Pleasure meeting you all here today. And indeed, it's an honor for me to share my experience or knowledge with you guys. Yeah. Okay. So shall we start?
Yes, sir. Please check whether you can share the PPT or contents from your laptop.
Yeah, we should be able to share. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir. You can see.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so guys, before we start, I would like to tell you a few things. So just to add to what Shreya introduced about me, so I was also SSGMC student like you guys are now, and I'm a proud SSGMC pass out from the batch of 2011, and it was a really nice journey as a student in the SSGMC, and definitely I carried many learnings from the this institution. And just to add my professional experience, just to let you know about my professional experience. So I have almost more than 10 years of experience in IT cloud infrastructure, and my professional journey in fact started from the time I passed out from the college. I joined TCS. I was recruited as a part of campus recruitment from our college, and then I worked for 5 years in TCS. Then I was with another organization, Nucleus Software. Then I moved to Japan for few duration, and then currently I'm working in UAE with Etisalat, which is a telecom giant based in UAE. And actually, I'm working for the customer who is a national oil company here, and it runs a cloud for almost 10 group companies. I'm going to cover all these things during session also. So that's all about me. It's in fact for me it's recalling my college days, meeting you guys. So it's thank you for everyone for inviting me here. Okay, so before we jump to the agenda, or before we jump to the presentation, I would like to tell you a few things, guys. Cloud. Cloud is a very familiar word these days in the world of digital India or say digital technology, we have everyone knows about cloud. But do you think you know all the aspects of cloud, or how exactly the pragmatic approach towards cloud? So we are every day we are using in our mobile in day-to-day life. We are using many cloud things, but maybe unknowingly or knowingly, and you don't know that you are using cloud actually provided by someone, because there are some free cloud services also. So that so what I want what I want to you to learn during this session is to have a pragmatic approach. I'm not going to have any theoretical I'm not going to share any theoretical concept of cloud, because if you go on Google, you will get thousands of definition, thousands of conceptual definitions regarding cloud computing and everything. So you can always go for that. But I want you to understand the real world scenarios and actually the industrial scenarios, how today's organizations uh, actually working on the cloud applications, or how they are using the clouds effectively in the today's world. So I will go through all the aspects. Maybe you know what is cloud. You already many of the people should know what is a cloud, but exactly how does it work and what is the background technologies it is comprised of. So that's the thing I'm mainly focusing on. And definitely 1 day or 1 hour session or 2 days is not enough to learn the cloud. It takes years to go through this journey. But at least the good thing is you are starting at the early stage, and definitely you will enter the organization or anywhere, you will have more exposure to what is cloud. And guys, let me tell you, it's not necessary that the people who want to work in IT organization should learn the cloud. It's not like that. As I told you, the cloud is day-to-day life also now. Nowadays, it is bread and butter. Like you are totally dependent on mobile. Similarly, we are also dependent on cloud also. So so some people want to be a developer, some people want to be database administrator, few people want to be infrastructure, like the field I am working in, or maybe you don't want to go to the organizations also. However, some people want to run their parental business, any other firm which is not related to IT. However, I would say, regardless of what career path you have chosen to go ahead with, cloud is going to be with you always. That is independent of what path you're choosing. Even if you are planning to go to the IT, that is anyway beneficial for you. Even you are going to become developer, still cloud will be with you. It's not necessary that you should be a cloud architect or something to know to have a knowledge of cloud. So take it a very, I mean, mandatory technology, I would say, in the today's world, because nothing is happening without cloud and internet, right? Day-to-day examples, you know very well. Gmail, your more online games and all that. So these are all example of clouds. Unknowingly, we are every day using the cloud. Okay, so guys, so only thing I wanted to tell you before I jump to the presentation. See, I have organized the presentation in such a way that I don't want to cover the theoretical part of it. However, I want to cover the pictorial part of it. So while going through the presentation, you should be able to imagine or relate yourself or your knowledge with actual what's happening in the world, what's happening globally in the IT technology, right? So as I told you, even though you are not going to work in IT firm and you are running your own business, but then also you will have to find some technologies to publish your business website online, publicly available for everyone. And in case you don't have resources, you can also go to the cloud. So that's what I'm telling you. In every aspects of your journey in life, cloud will come in picture, whether it's a personal part or whether it's a professional part. So that's also just try to grasp as much as you can from this session. So okay, having said that, I think
Sir,
we can
just
jump. Yeah,
just
Mr. Subbi
till
sir.
the moment you share your slides, I have some instruction for students. Like the speaker is really enthusiastic to keep this session an interactive one. So what we can do is during the presentation, whatever questions students get into their mind, they can note down. And at the last of the session, during question and answer session, we can open the platform for the discussion with the speaker. So I will provide the access of mic and camera if the questioner is interested to do so. And you will have to just raise your hands or just put a message in the chat box so that yeah we can uh, do the further things. And also, if you are interested to pass on the question to the speaker through some coordinators, our student coordinators, then you can directly type in the question into the chat box, and our student coordinator, maybe Shreya or Harshada, will forward that question to the speaker in that case. So, yes, requesting Bandwal sir to continue.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So probably we can have the interactive session at the end, so that we can focus on the content meanwhile. Okay. So let's start and let's jump to the agenda now. Okay, I will turn off my video just to focus on this. Okay, guys, let me know just in case. Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
sir.
Yeah, yeah. And also let me know during the session, just in case if you feel that my voice is breaking or my presentation is getting disconnected, so you can let me know. Someone can raise a hand, probably Shreya or someone can tell me. Okay. So guys, let's jump to the agenda of today's session. So I believe it is going to be interesting for you guys. So the first I'm going to tell you cloud. You must be thinking that, sir, we all know that it's what is cloud. We every day we are reading it, but the aspect I'm going to cover here today is it will be totally different. I'm going to mostly cover the industrial approach, real world examples, day-to-day examples. Then probably you can relate with them. Okay. Then cloud offerings and deployment models. You must be knowing about this also. You have heard about this at least. Then what is virtualization? So why I have included this point, virtualization. Maybe you are not all the people will be aware about this virtualization technology, but the cloud and virtualization are tightly dependent on each other. Then, of course, I'm going to cover industrial overview, what's happening in today's IT world, today's IT market, and then also to make it really practical one, I'm going to cover some demo for you guys. The public cloud one, you must be familiar with the few names: AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform. There are many actually in the list, but these are the most reputed one or most running in the market today. And then private cloud also. So that's what I'm going to cover the real world examples today. So let's move. Let's move to the next slide. Okay, guys, what is cloud computing? So as I have been talking to you, uh, see, cloud computing, if I ask you guys, you will definitely tell something like it is it is a service being accessed over internet. It is a service, which is available anytime on demand, pricing, etc. etc. So if you type on Google also, you will see thousands of definitions. But do you think those all definitions are true at their place? But none of them actually justifies a cloud 100%, because the cloud is not that small thing to be defined in one sentence. Okay. And so basically I want you to not uh, I want you not to learn a definition here. I don't want you to prepare for the interview purpose, but I want you to make your own definitions after you go through this session. So I want you to understand the cloud, and then you can make your definitions also. So it varies, the definition varies. So what this is definition I have created customized. I try to cover the things which actually mostly defined in the cloud. So I would say cloud is on-demand delivery of computing resources over network. Now, mostly you have seen over internet, but the cloud is not only restricted to internet use, it is also intranet, which is called as private network. So the companies are not always going to the internet, they have their private network also. So from industrial perspective, it is an intranet. For all us who consumers who actually access it over internet is a internet, right? So this definition covers both. And also you must have seen some definitions which says on the charge basis. Of course, if someone is providing you something, they will charge you for that service, right? So just to let you know, it's not always that true that every cloud provider will give the service to their consumers on charging basis. Some provides free also. Now I will give you one scenario. You are using Google Drive. You know, this is the best example of cloud we are using every day. You are using your Gmail. You are using the Google Photos. These are all very running examples of cloud, real world examples, and everyone actually is having Gmail account and there. But do you think, or do you have ever asked, this is a cloud service, then why it's not charging? Okay, so there is a different aspect of Google behind this, why they are not charging. And of course, they have limitations also. They have 5 GB of storage free. They want to make a customer base, and that is a business strategy, right? But in the company, now consider another example of organization, like the organization we work, the IT companies. Now they have prepared cloud for their own employees so that it is a self-service portal for them, right? So they are not charging because it's their employee and they want to provide resource to their employees only. So that is also without charge. So the definition where it says on charge basis is not always 100% true. However, public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, of course, they are there to do business online. So that's the thing. They will always charge you for some things. Okay. Now, again, just see the second point. Virtualization plus the cloud computing is virtualization plus internet or intranet. Now, I would I will let this sentence as it is because this sentence will be justified to you once I cover the next slides, the coming slides, because maybe uh, not all of you are aware about virtualization, but many of you must be using it also during your project journey. You are creating virtual machines on softwares like VirtualBox or Oracle or whatever this VMware workstation, right? So unknowingly you are using virtualization, but maybe you totally don't know. And also I'm going to cover how these both technologies are related. Is cloud is same as virtualization or virtualization different? Which came first and how they are interdependent on each other? Okay. So as I told you, they both technologies are tightly integrated with each other. So I think I tried to keep this diagram. So I'm going, most of the presentation will cover the pictorial one. So this diagram simply because to justify the definition of computing resources, the computing resources generally you know very well, right? RAM, CPU, storage, operating system, software. These are the these are the general computing resources we use in day-to-day life. And that's what providing it over a network, whether it's internet or intranet. It's called a cloud computing. That's simple as this diagram is okay. Let me okay. So just an example of computing resources, it is being provided over some path, some network, and it is going to end user devices. End user. So generally in the world of cloud, these end users are known as a consumers because they are consuming a service provided by someone on the network, on internet or intranet. So this provider is called as service provider or cloud service provider, you can say. Okay, I think this. And the another thing I want to tell you guys, I want to go like a layman terminology here because maybe maybe 5% of students are even not aware about the basics of cloud also. So I want to go like that so that it is good for everyone. Okay, so I think we can move to the next slide here. Okay, now you must have been hearing about all these things also. Software, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. So basically, these are the services categories. These are not actually the services. These are the categories. So if you go to the AWS, you will not see something IaaS or PaaS or software service, but you will see the services name directly, and those services belongs to any one of these category. Okay, so just to understand, but this is important to understand this structure also. What is infrastructure service? What is platform service in the computer language? So infrastructure as a service is basically when you say infrastructure. So infrastructure is what your computer, your computing environment is infrastructure. So if your cloud provider is providing you this infrastructure readily, then it is called as infrastructure as service. So we don't have to take care of what is infrastructure, how he is running in the background and all that. And platform as a service is the next time again to infrastructure. For example, uh, you want to develop something, you want to develop a code. However, what is the requirement now? I just like 2-3 weeks back, I also conducted project evaluation for some of you guys for 2 to 3 teams, and I saw that everyone had their basic requirement of the development, right? They want simple one machine. Probably it's a laptop for you guys. So laptop, and then we want a 4 GB of RAM, whatever. This was CPU and this one storage. A very less requirement though. But but have you ever thought that you are you are developing it on your laptop, right? Have you ever thought you can also go to the cloud and take these resources ready-madely, right? For example, you are developing in Java, you will create a Java environment inside your machine, right? And then you will install all the prerequisite and you will create a platform. After that, you will start a development, right? So what if this platform itself is provided by a cloud service provider and you are directly using it and just starting developing? Okay, don't you think it will be a easy life? So just try to relate with this the real time scenarios. So that is the example of platform as a service. So you are getting a ready platform, so cloud service provider, you are just going and running it. Now, the third and the very last is software as a service. This is like a ready application itself. You don't have to even worry about platform. You don't have to worry about infrastructure. It is direct software. Your Gmail is a software. Your Google Drive is a software. The Google has already ready-madely given to you. Do you care about how they are giving 5 GB storage, from where they are giving? No, because you have got ready software from Google. So that's the best example of software as a service. Everything day-to-day Outlook, everything, all the email services, then online games. Online games, have you ever installed on your machine? No, but you are still playing, right? So that's what they have they have published it on the internet, entire package of game, right? So that's the example of software. I think it will become more clear in the next slides, but I think it was a fair enough explanation for this slide. Okay, now just to add to what I explained you about the offerings categories, you can again see the same in this slide. So first is on-site. On-site is also called as on-premises. See, I will try to give you example which are more familiar with you. For example, on-site is on-premises. Uh, so where you have all the infrastructure in place and you develop everything whatever you want, you made your own service. This is private cloud, which is on-site, on-premises, the same word. Infrastructure service is the same. You get a virtualization server and storage network, this orange color from the service provider, and rest of the things like operating system, middleware, runtime, data, applications, you manage yourself, right? That is the infrastructure. So it's simple, a computer or virtual machine you are getting from the provider. Then second is platform as a service. As I give you example, you just have to run the code. If you get a ready platform already pre-configured with a prerequisite like a Java or something. So that is an example. So you can see here, only you have to take care of application and data. You have to start developing it if you want. Otherwise, all the things, this networking, storage, server, this is taken care by the cloud service provider. You don't have to worry what's there in the background. You don't have to worry what is there in your laptop also. You can directly take this machine from cloud and start developing. Then software as service is the last example which I give you. You don't have to worry about anything at all. You just want internet. That's it. You just go online and just start using that application. So I think this also adds to the clarity of these categories. Okay. Uh, Again, I will give you the most realistic example of you guys to you guys. For example, consider that we have a cloud of SSGMCE, which is, let's name it as a cloud.ssgmc.com. Okay, so this will be on-site cloud. Now this cloud portal will have different kind of services, not of these categories, but different. Like one of them is a online library system. Considering Corona situations, we can have something like that, like online library system, because we cannot personally visit to the library for the books and all that. So SSGMC cloud architect has decided to develop a website. So to develop a cloud actually, which will provide online books to their students. Okay, so here whatever requirement to have this cloud portal running is everything placed in our campus itself. in maybe in the IT lab, which is present on the ground floor, right? So we can keep there whatever server is required to whatever entire infrastructure we are doing there. Also, we are developing the websites required for that. So everything we are doing. So that is the best example of online cloud and providing this facility to the students on the cloud portal so that they can subscribe to the books, ebooks, and they can read related to their streams, whether it's IT, CS, electronics, mechanical, civil, whatever. So this kind of service. So that is also example of software as a service, basically, because you are getting ready ebooks. You don't have to install any application on your end device, mobile or laptops or notebooks, whatever, but you are still using the books actually in the very realistic manner, right? So that's the big example of on-site cloud, I would say. And again, as I told you, this is not always cost charging basis, right? Now this now our college management will not charge, definitely will not charge for this kind of facilities, and that's the best example. But still it is a cloud, right? They are not charging doesn't mean that it's not a cloud. So that's why I did not cover in my definition that it is a charge basis. So that's not 100% applicable everywhere. Okay. Now the example of infrastructure as a service or platform as a service, uh, when we as I already gave you. So also we can I can give you example of let's say now Amravati University has their cloud. Okay, now they will name it like sgbu.cloud.com. Okay, now definitely Amravati University has many colleges, many institutions there. Now again, considering the corona situations, they want to conduct practicals online, right? But they want to conduct in realistic scenarios. For example, like the you may go to the lab and you have lab machines already CPP and C prerequisite Java, everything is installed. Then you go and just do your lab practicals, right? You don't configure the PC because it's already configured by the lab management, right? But during corona situation, you are not able to go to the lab. Now, Amravati University has decided that to all colleges, the practical will happen like this online, and you will have a computing resources online. So they can have their data center there and they can publish virtual machines over cloud, and you will be accessing, all colleges will be accessing from their campus, right? So this is also another example of cloud where actually they are providing infrastructure, where actually they are providing platform also, because they are giving you ready VMs which are same as your lab, and then you can just access through browser and just start doing your practical. So that is a more that is actually a real world example uh, we can have for the college life. Okay, I think we can move here. I will again come to the HGB example to define the cloud models also. So just try to relate that with the real time. Okay. Now I hope you guys had a breakfast today. Very nice breakfast. So this example again, uh, maybe those who are not having, who didn't have breakfast, maybe angry on me. Okay, this is very interesting example of you guys. Uh, okay, apart from jokes, I just included this slide just to have again more clarity on what could be the offerings. Again, this is the same meaning that all three previous slides justifies the same meaning. Okay, now for example, if you want to have pizza, so what could be on premises approach or on private, everything we have to take care of, right? Everything, including gas, then what are the ingredients for required for pizza, and you will prepare yourself also, and they will have pizza ready. So this is all you are taking care. Now just consider if pizza as infrastructure as service, then probably the provider will give you pizza dough, tomato sauce, toppings, and cheese, some contents. And however, the other things like a gas, some like cold drinks or something, dining table, and on that you have to take care at your home because you are just bringing contents from the service provider. So that's the example of infrastructure service. Then platform as a service is basically he's giving you everything. Okay, excluding for example dining table or drinking water or cold drinks. So that is only your prime. So it is similar to he is giving you a platform and you are just developing application. You can relate this example to this example also. Now software services is just order it from Domino's. Domino's is your service provider and you get pizza ready. You don't have to worry about, no, not even order will come at this category. I would say going out to the dining, going to the Domino's shop itself, and having pizza there. So you don't have to buy even table also or anything, right? So that is example of software sale. I think these 3 slides covers this concept more clearly. If any queries, of course, we can have an interaction at the last. Okay, now other than offerings, we have deployment models also. So you must be hearing about these words always: public cloud, community cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. Now, public cloud, maybe you know the providers, but you don't know what public cloud actually is, or maybe you know, but maybe you're not familiar with private cloud. So guys, the public cloud is the one which are being provided over internet. Now here mostly internet word defines here as a part of cloud computing, because public cloud is publicly available to everyone, and the and the way everyone can access any resource is the internet only, right? I mean, it is network. When it comes to cloud computing, it is always network, but specifically internet. And when it comes to the private cloud, it is also network, but it is within the LAN of the company also. So just to jump back to the example I given of SSGMC online library, it's an example of private cloud. Okay. And public cloud is you are going to the Amazon web services, you are going to the Azure, and you are purchasing books, ebooks there. That is example of public cloud. Okay. Now, what is community cloud? Maybe very few have heard about this, or maybe no one has heard about this, but this is also one of the, and this is very rarely used scenario in the industry also and real world also. Community cloud is basically there are few consumers which group together to have one service provider. So this for this I can give the best example of Amravati University. Now Amravati University, again you can relate the same example. Amravati University has prepared that cloud of online lab, right? But for the colleges within the university only, like whatever Amravati colleges, Shegao College, this 10-15 colleges, whatever number of colleges we have in Amravati University, they will open this portal for everyone, but not for the colleges from the Nagpur University or Pune University, right? So this is community cloud for the group of consumers. So here the Amravati University is a service provider which provides a community cloud, right? And we can access over it network and internet also. So basically, when I say network, that means internet. We have a connectivity from our college to Amravati University, or internet we can have through service provider, or we can have secure channel also. Now the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud, the name itself says that it's a hybrid. It's a mixture. So basically, it's a mixture of public and private and community cloud. I would say you just not to focus on this community cloud because mostly the scenarios used in the industry is public cloud and private cloud. But you should have knowledge of what is community cloud also. So example of hybrid cloud would be now again back to the Amravati University example. Now they are providing resources to the 10 colleges for the lab environment. So for this, of course, they have a data center placed at Amravati in the university campus. They have one data center. They have servers purchased for that. They have networking in place there. Okay. And from that servers they have purchased, they are providing you the virtual machines for the lab, right? Now they have enough resources to suffice the requirement of 10 colleges, 10 institutions. However, one new college get established in the Amravati University now, and this college also wants to have their students lab online through this cloud portal of Amravati University. Now, however, the Amravati University is running out of resource in their data center. That means whatever servers they had, whatever RAM, CPU they had in their data center is getting exhausted because already they are providing to the 10 colleges, right? So now, in order to have new hardware for the new college to buy a new servers and then configure them, it's a long process. However, the practical exam and exam timelines are approaching near. So in this situation, what Amravati University can do, what management can decide, they don't have a time, but they have to provide the requirement of the new college also in their university, right? So in that case, what they will do, the quick buy method, they will go to the public cloud also. They will go to the AWS, they can go to AWS, they can go to Azure or Google Cloud Platform. They will go to Azure and they said, I want this much resource. Okay, now for this college particularly. So they will take whatever resources required from AWS and they will have on their portal itself. For the new college, the portal will be still be the same, which other colleges are already using. However, in the background, this Amravati University is connected to public cloud also. So this new college request will actually get deployed to this public cloud, AWS. So whatever virtual machines this new college will use is actually belonging to public cloud. However, other colleges are still using which is deployed in their private cloud of the university, right? Which is inside the campus. So that's the thing. That's the basic example of hybrid cloud. And guys, exactly the same way industries work today. Exactly the same scenario. Why I did not give directly the example of industry, because you are not familiar with industry as of now. You have not yet started working with industry, right? So I want to give an example, something like of that you can relate. I hope it's very much clear to you guys what is cloud deployment models, private cloud, hybrid cloud, and public cloud. So these two examples can justify this. I think I can move to the next slide. Okay, again, this is very familiar for you guys. Every day you are hearing about this. These are the public cloud providers. Okay, but these are not the only public cloud providers. The list is very long. Okay, but the most running uh, and uh, most preferable cloud platforms in today's IT world is these three basically, not even this. See, I'm not a promoter of any public cloud providers, but I'm telling you the fact what's happening in current IT. Okay, I'm not a salesperson for, I'm not a cloud architect from any of these companies. However, I just want to be aware the current IT scenario. It may be changed time to time. But guys, let me tell you, though the many service provider come in the market, many goes or many persist also, and new comes also. But the technology underlying is what is cloud remains the same. Huh? Whatever is there, it remains the same. So the list is not this much only, but these are the most commonly used. Do you know? By the way, since we are on this slide, I want to tell you something about the cloud evolution. It's not that long the cloud was evaluated in the IT. You might be thinking it was evaluated before 2000, 1990s or 1980s. No, it's not actually. The cloud was actually, the first service was launched by the Amazon in 2006. So it just, you can say 15 to 16 years back. It's not that old. Cloud. Of course, the cloud technology is old, but the first service was launched by Amazon in 2006. And Azure was even later. Azure came in the market in 2010. And meanwhile, Google Cloud came somewhere in 2008. But we were mostly familiar with these two technologies because they were, but Amazon, how they started the cloud services first. Uh, you are all, I'm sure you are very familiar with Amazon shopping, right? So that's the background of this. So what Amazon thought is they can sell any product online, clothing, everything, whatever available in the market, right? So similarly, they thought during these 2020s, they thought that why can't they provide computers also online? Why can't they provide computer resources also online and you can sell them? Why they? So that's the evolution of cloud on Amazon, right? So you can see what you are doing in the Amazon shopping website. You are going, you are selecting product, you are selecting size, right? And then you are placing order. Obviously, you are paying for that, right? Similar is the concept of cloud computing. You are also logging to the Amazon cloud portal. You are also seeing the catalog items available, they or the services available. Okay, and you are selecting the service. You will see the charges, how much for this service. I'm going to show you demo guys for all these, so you can very much relate what I'm talking now. Okay, so uh, so that's how the Amazon evolved. Now let me tell you why these three are actually giant. Of course, they are giant from the start. Microsoft is Microsoft. Windows and everything is Microsoft. Google is already so 2006 this started. It was boom in the market. 2008 Google Cloud Platform started and 2010 Azure. However, Google Cloud Platform was not familiar. Okay, so Amazon was taking web services was taking a place in the market. Eventually, from even though it started late, the Microsoft in within 6 years, it becomes a tight to tight competitor with Amazon. So now in the market, most of the cloud shares are being held by Azure. Now, what is the story of Google Cloud Platform is actually they launched in 2008, but they did not focus much on this service. So they were not familiar or it was not advertised to the organization, something sort of that. because they Google is already a big giant and yeah, already had a many services like Google Gmail, Google itself is a very big thing to manage for them. But eventually they realized that we are lacking somewhere in the cloud computing also. So now recently, in recent years, we can say like 3 4 years, this platform starting again coming up. Now it's to 2022. I have seen this because from the time I started working in IT organization, the Microsoft Azure was recently launched. You know, so even we just heard this word first time when I joined the organization. Amazon Web Service was very new for us, right? So now Google Cloud Platform is also. So I'm just trying to focus on this. I will just try to give demo also for these three so that you are familiar. And guys, listen to me, this cloud technology, if you see, if you experience it, it's really interesting and you can use it anywhere, anytime in your life. Whether I told you, if you are doing business also, you can go to Amazon and host your website of business, whatever. It's not necessarily you have to work in IT. And if you are working in IT, then obviously it is advantage for you because already ITs are using cloud and you are familiar with them already. You have started already doing graduation also. So that's a very good thing, guys. All the best for you. So let's move to the next slide on this. Okay, now I have been saying private cloud, private cloud, private cloud. Now, again, example of SSGMC library. So SSGMC is going to provide the library system, but they will have some portal, right? So how to prepare that portal? So for that, we have some tools in the market. Again, the list is very long, but I have selected some reputed. Among them, VMware is the one which actually provide a good platform to prepare our own cloud. So now private cloud is we have our own data center. For example, our college has their this one data center near ground floor IT. It was at the ground floor when I was there. Maybe it is at the same data center. So you must be seeing before IT lab there is a rack and servers and cabling. You will see the lot of mesh cabling there, right? So that is the data center. Even the companies have also the same, but they have a bigger structure because the data requirement is more, because the computing requirement is more. For our college, that data center is enough, right? So that's the data center. So now our college can buy hardware, put it there, can create a portal and provide the services to students. So that's an example of private cloud. So in order to achieve that, we need some tools for that which are being provided in the market. So these are the giants who provide this. VMware, we have Cisco, we have BMC software, we have Nutanix also in the market recently, like five years back it launched. Then Red Hat is familiar, you are familiar. They have OpenStack platform. Then Microsoft is always there everywhere in all the products. So they want to be over there like a Google. Okay, so I will give a demo of VMware actually. How VMware technology is used to create a private cloud. Okay, let me move to the next slide. Okay, guys. I also wanted to give community cloud example to you, and I wanted to give more realistic example, which actually I have been there. So this is you can see the pictures here at the right side and the left side. So basically, this is the building. This is basically a data center. This is owned by a company, Digital Reality in London and Chessington area, because I was there in 2014. I was there for on-site deputation for 2 years. So that time I used to work in this data center, Digital Reality, because I have seen it from inside. So this is the building. So data center is nothing special building. This is a normal building, but inside that you have many racks like this. Why I give this example? Because I have seen community cloud. Though I told you in the previous slide that don't focus on community cloud because this is not used, but actually I have seen it using it once only in my entire 10 years. And it was there because the reason, because it was used in London, because London city is already very crowded. Okay, very occupied. So there is no place for the new companies to have a data center inside the city, right? So what they do is they go with any community cloud provider. So for example, this Digital Reality is the company who has all this infrastructure, these racks placed inside, and they are selling it to the different companies in London. So the companies don't have to buy hardware and put it in their data center. They have to just will pay the charge here to the Digital Reality, and they will host their servers here. We used to go here. We used to I used to configure server specific to TCS. So this is the best example of community cloud. That's the reason I wanted to include this slide also uh, here. Okay. And this is how data center look like from inside. It is the bigger version of the IT lab, which we have already in the college. So it's much bigger version actually. We have many racks, many servers, and it's like that. All you must be knowing it. They are all air conditional rooms to maintain the heat of the servers. Okay. Now, okay, I will cover some of this aspect in next slide. Maybe I will come back again to this picture to explain a few of the things. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Now, guys, virtualization. How now you will ask me, you are explaining about cloud, then how suddenly you jump to the virtualization. Guys, virtualization, and again you will also think that why virtualization, how it is related to the cloud. Are they same or are they different, or they are dependent on each other? Yes, guys, they are not the same. Virtualization is one of the technology to build the cloud. One of the means mandatory technology to build the cloud. Can you imagine virtualization? The name itself suggests it's a virtual. It's not physical, it's a virtual. So basically converting hardware to software is a virtualization. This is a very old definition because this I'm just trying to put here, and I'm trying to explain you the concept with the use of these wordings. In Google, if you type virtualization, many will say converting hardware to software, but this is not the case always. Then second definition says creating virtual resource from executing physical resource of the same time. This makes some sense for the virtualization. Now, first definition, hardware to software, it's okay. It's true for some resources. For example, we have uh, uh, we have servers in our data center, and then we are Amravati University has servers in the data center. Then they are virtualizing it and providing it to the lot of students. So you can say it is hardware to software, but also there are some things which actually convert software to software. Just to give another example of library, ebook library, it is already a ebook which is purchased by our college, right? It is already a software. But again, we have our cloud architect of our college is again virtualize that software to provide to the many students, right? So it is software to software virtualization that can also happen. So that's why the first definition, at least I would not say 100% it's correct. Okay, but second definition makes a sense. Can you just go through it again? Creating virtual resources from physical resource of the same type. Does it make sense? Same type I mentioned, regardless of whether hardware or it is software, but the same time from ebooks, it will be a ebooks format only. From hardware, it will be hardware. For example, if we have ebook, can we give to the users as a storage? No, it is ebook. How we can provide storage? So, and also this definition also makes sense, an abstraction to underlying physical infrastructure. Of course, we are hiding physical infrastructure from the end users. End user, you are using Google Drive in your mobile. Everyone is using it, almost everyone, right? To keep your storage. So there must be some storage with Google, right? 5 GB, 5 GB, 5 GB. If you consider population of India, at least India, Google is a global, but just consider population of India, multiply it with 5 GB. Do you think what data is there? How much data is there just for the pre-service, right? So Google is maintaining this data center somewhere, right? Actually, Google is maintaining it everywhere. They have data centers in India, in many locations, Mumbai, Chennai. They have data center in US. They are everywhere. They are geographically segregated because they want to provide services to everyone in the world, everyone in the globe, right? So, but while using the Google Drive, do you ever know how they are storing? Where is the hard disk actually your data is going to? Do you care about all this? So that's what Google is abstracting it, and you don't have to worry about the physical infrastructure, what is in the background. However, why I'm explaining this point here is how even Google is able to do this. How even any cloud able to provide you virtualized resources over internet. This is because of virtualization. So now the sentence justifies whatever I said, that it is a mandatory component of cloud computing. Without virtualization, can now if virtualization not there, can Google send you actually a 5 GB hard drive to your home just to store your data of mobile? Or is it feasible? No, then it's not a cloud computing, right? So they are giving you ready app to store your data. So because they have virtualized the actual physical, they have physical storage in their data center. They have many terabytes of hard disk, a big data center running everywhere. So from that physical storage, they are creating chunks of 5 GB, 5 GB, 5 GB for each Google user, and they are giving you as a software in the Google Drive. And the technology they have used behind is virtualization. Now, the virtualization can be achieved by different softwares or different solutions. But the generalized term is always remains the same virtualization. The concept always remains the same virtualization. The way of executing virtualization may be different, depends on vendor to vendor, the customers who provide the virtualization platform, as I also explained you some, and I will explain you in the coming slide also. So the virtualization, the giant in virtualization is VMware actually. Uh, VMware introduced virtualization in 1999, even before the cloud services were introduced. Because, of course, if cloud is dependent on virtualization, virtualization should come first, right? That always makes sense. So virtualization is the technology which emerged first. Okay. Then it was even from the time of IBM mainframe infrastructure, they were using small kind of virtualization, but actual server virtualization came in picture in 1999 or in 1990s. So at least I don't want to understand virtualization completely here because maybe you are not familiar with this before, but at least you can understand few things about it. Okay, now virtualization continue. So guys, as I explained you, converting physical resources to the virtual resources, the virtualization. For example, these are the physical servers placed inside the data center, and this is the storage. So using some virtualization software, we are virtualizing it and converting it to the many virtual machines. So Amravati University has this in data center. These servers are there, and they are using some technology to virtualize it. And this app are getting provided to each student. Don't you think this is the best example of virtualization? Okay, and so that's why. So virtualization has, so earlier what used to happen, data center has a lot of racks and a lot of servers in them. But now because of virtualization, we don't need those many servers inside data center because uh, earlier what used to happen for each application. For example, one developer is developing one application and they want one server, so it will be installed in one server. Similarly, now 14 servers they want, so it will be deployed individually in 14 physical servers. So it was increasing space in the data center, power in the data center, AC cooling required for this 15 server. Everything was, the costing was more. Then virtualization came in picture. Now only three physical boxes or three physical servers in data center can suffice this requirement of all these 16 or 17 or 20 servers, as many as we want, and create a virtual machines here. Also the efficient utilization of resources, because this is virtual machine, you can always decrease or increase RAM and CPUs of that. So we can save on computing resource here. Once it is dedicated to one application, it is like that. Even though it is not using it, it is a wastage of resources, right? So that is one of the advantage of virtualization. I don't want to go, I don't want to explain you all the advantage of virtualization, or I want to explain to you, but I don't want to go point wise because you can get it anywhere in the Google or YouTube. You go what is advantage of virtualization. But after seeing, going through this presentation, you can always relate to the videos you will be seeing next in the Google, or whatever you read on the Google, you can relate these things, right? Again, the addition to the same example here, just I give. For example, one one team is needing these servers, LDAP server, database server, mail server, right? And if we consider the scenario before 10-20 years, this was the data center. Altogether separate physical server for all this application, install separating operating system, Windows or Linux, and then configure application on top of that. So it was a headache. For example, one box dies. Dies means if there is any failure in the hardware of this box, the application will go down, right? So this was not at ideal infrastructure. So after virtualization, what is happening is we are combining only 2-3 physical boxes together, and we have lot many virtual machines on top of that, so they can move here and there. I will explain this during demo also, right? Okay, now as I told you, this is general concept of virtualization, and there are many vendors providing virtualization platform also, right? So VMware is one of them who introduced in 1999. So How? So in order to achieve virtualization also, there is one technology, or we can say there is a software used as a uh, and which is called as hypervisor. Okay, this is hypervisor. Hypervisor actually converts the virtual machine to sorry, the physical servers to the virtual servers. Okay, so for VMware, the hypervisor name is ESXi. Okay, and ESXi is also one of the operating system, lightweight operating system. It directly sits on the hardware platform, and then after installing this, we should be able to create a number of virtual machine. Guys, I think maybe mostly you are familiar with this kind of scenario because you must be using VMware Workstation or this virtual box for your projects, because you have to create 2 3 virtual machines. For example, you cannot create inside. So what you are doing, you are on your laptop in operating system, you are installing VirtualBox, and then out of the 8 GB or 4 GB on laptop, you are providing it to 2 3 virtual machines of 2 2 GB also, right? Even you can create a 6 GB of, maybe they will be slow, but at least you are creating, right? From that, so you are virtualizing your RAM and CPU from your laptop to create another Linux or Windows machines, right? Now this is these names. It's okay if you don't want to remember, that's okay. That's not because these are vendor specific. This is VMware specific words. This is the management platform to manage this infrastructure. So now guys, now you will say, is it this virtualization is related to everyone, public cloud provider, AWS, Azure also. But this VMware's, this virtualization I'm showing is mostly when we want to develop our own virtualization in on premises, right? Because AWS is also using, but they have their own tools. They are AWS is using this Zen, a Zen server from Citrix. There is another hypervisor. Microsoft is using Hyper-V. Okay, so everyone has their own techniques of virtualizing, but underlying concept is the virtualization is general for all. Okay, so everyone is doing virtualization. Maybe the method is different, but the conceptuality is same. Huh? Okay, now two types of hypervisor is mostly the industries use the type 1 only. The type 1 is nothing which sits directly on the hardware. This is directly on the hardware. ESXi is sitting directly on this server. This is physical server in data center. And after that, you can create virtual machines. Type 2 is the one you use in laptop, because your laptop is a physical device. After that, already Windows is installed. On top of Windows operating system, you are using VMware Workstation, right? So there is operating system in between. So that is a type 2 hypervisor. Okay, but this is only for lab scenarios. Okay, no one use this in industrial scenarios. Industrial scenarios is directly on the hardware, hypervisor is installed, and then after that virtual machines, app and OS. Okay, so I think this is familiar for you. Okay, now guys, I have been every time talking about the data center, the physical devices, physical servers, computing resources. So how they are placed in data center? Basically, I will again refer to this slide. This slide, this diagram, this picture. Okay, this is the now how these are placed in data center. Some, because some, it's not always a magic or it's not always a virtual. Someone has to put some resource in data center, right? Otherwise, how we can create virtual resources from that? Yeah, so it happens in the background. You know, no, I have worked on this. So we have to first go to the data center. We have to put the servers there, and then it becomes virtual. But it's not direct virtual, right? Direct virtual world cannot be there. We have to have some physical world behind that. So there are different topologies or designs we can place our servers in data center. So this is traditional approach. This was being used long time. Actually, when I started working in organization, this kind of scenarios we used to work. Then it was the evolution happened, and then it comes to the converged infrastructure and hyper converged. Now I will quickly explain this with some paint drawing. Okay, or maybe you can understand from this drawing. So basically what used to happen earlier is there was a server box which is actually normal like your laptop or whatever, but having high configuration of CPU and RAM, maybe like hundreds of or TBs of RAM, and CPU is like 16 cores of CPU or whatever. I mean the large compute, because we have to create a lot many virtual machines from that. Okay, and the storage was separated. Storage was provided by some other vendor. Okay, like a terabytes of data, petabytes of data. The providers were EMC storage. Maybe you have heard about EMC Square, right? Sorry, EMC, Daily EMC. So this storage was separated but it was connected centrally to all the physical nodes. Okay, let me explain better to this diagram. This evolution I can explain quickly with nice MS Pen drawing. Let me show my skills on MS Paint drawing. Sorry guys, bear with me. Maybe I cannot draw you properly for you, but just try to understand the terminology. So even before traditional approach, the simple physical approach, in data center, one individual servers will be there. Install Windows on that, install Windows on that, install Linux on that. That's it. Used for one application, used for one application, used for another application. As simple as it is. There is no virtualization, nothing, nothing, nothing. So this eventually all companies moved from this to this kind of infrastructure first when virtualization started. So they sorry, try to understand my drawing. Huh? Okay, this is a physical box. Physical box means physical server which has a CPU and memory, also has some storage. But I will tell you why we don't use the storage located inside this box. Instead, we used to have a storage rack separately, which is having a lot of storage, and the storage was connected uh, to the all physical nodes centrally. So this was called as a centralized storage. What used to happen? The VM which are created combining these three, we used to create as a cluster. I will show this in demo also. So we are creating like 20 VMs here. Okay, from just three physical servers, I am creating 20 or 200 also I can create depending on the what resources we are available here, right? What used to happen? For example, this for some reason this hardware is failing. This is power connection disconnection happened to this. So now you can relate this each node to this diagram. Now you can see this rack. So rack, where is that? Is one second, huh? Let me go quickly. Okay. Now for example, just see my the pointer. You can see this one box, two box, three box, four box. So just I'm giving example of just the three nodes here. Okay, and these three are backend connected to the storage kept in this rack, for example, or some fiber channel connectivity to speed access. Now this is centralized and this is connected to all three nodes. So again, jumping back to the MS Paint. So whatever virtual machines I create on top of that using virtualization software, hypervisor, whatever, if this fails, if this one node fails, if this one first node fails, so my virtual machines on this node should move to another node, right? In order to avoid high availability, because business applications are critical, they cannot afford downtime. So this is what virtualization helps here. So automatically they can move because the requirement for them to run here is what? Their data. Their data is where? Here, not in this box. They have CPU and RAM here. However, this can be provided by this box also, right? This can be provided by this also. So automatically the technology will discover the next available node. Next, whatever, we can have a cluster of many 10 years, 10 servers, 10 physical servers also. So now you understood the physical technology. So this was the virtualization. Sorry, this was the hardware topology come in somewhere in 2000 to 2010. Later, again, the evolution happened there. Okay. Uh, okay, or otherwise, let me use the same notepad. Now, what happened later is we have, so this was the traditional infrastructure, or we call this legacy hardware infrastructure. But then now recently, in recent few years, the hyperconverged infrastructure came. Now, what is hyperconverged? Now, these server boxes, this 1, 2, 3, are also coming with the storage drives also, and that are bigger in size. So we have each have. So now you will see how machine will move, because if machine is here and the data is stored in this hard drive, if you move here, he will not get data, right? So the answer to your question is now, as an enhancement to virtualization, software virtualization, what they are doing, the technology is doing it. They can also consolidate this hard disk from different physical boxes to create a one storage, virtual storage. This was the physical storage, but this now we call this at a virtual SAN. If you type on Google, you can see it. What is virtual SAN? Virtual storage area network. So basically you can say virtual storage. No need to remember SAN or something during this session. So this is virtual storage only. Now, even though the hard disks are distributed across 3 nodes, but virtual storage is one. So now actually data is stored in this virtual storage. And this is called as hyperconverged infrastructure. This is what currently market is, enterprise market is procuring these kind of hardwares from the vendors. So this was a traditional one, which I draw the first diagram on paint. This was altogether physical box, and this box is only having the RAM and CPU. Okay. And this hyperconverge, you can see this one box is having storage and server also combined and connected to the network, and they can have a same as a centralized storage, but in virtual manner. So you understood. So guys, this is physical. Maybe you don't have to go to the actually data center anytime, because also, or some job profiles are also there, which actually the people for data center who goes there and configure the servers initially, because someone has to do it initially, right? Otherwise, how you can proceed further, right? So unless and until we are going for public cloud, these all things will be taken care by the cloud provider. This is AWS is doing in the background. Of course, AWS has their team to manage data center. AWS has team to manage virtualization. But we are as a consumer, we are end user for AWS, so we don't have to worry about that, right? So I hope this understood the concept of virtualization also and how it is related to cloud. Now this is what example, because of virtualization, the traditional data center of so many racks and so many space and so many CPU utilization and so much of power utilization, AC utilization, cooling utilization, it is reduced to 2 racks. That's it. Or just example, just it can be 10 racks also, but just example, the comparatively this much requirement can be fulfilled only in these physical boxes. That's it. So that is the magic of virtualization. Now, guys, as I told you, virtualization and cloud are tightly integrated with each other. OK, not integrated, tightly dependent on, like basically the cloud is dependent on virtualization completely. Other than that, we cannot form a cloud. OK, so now can can this can this definition make sense to you? Virtualization is a technology, however, cloud is environment. Yes, because cloud is one environment where all resources are getting provided on the internet. But in the background, what's happening is the service provider is actually virtualizing their hardware resources, which is kept in data center. So this definition perfectly match. So now can you say that cloud cannot be formed without a virtualization in the background? Of course, we have to use virtualization in the background. Again, another way of saying is, see, this kind of definition you will not say in the internet. This is what I customize for you guys to understand it perfectly. The cloud is, again, now one more thing, guys. Do you think only doing virtualization and virtualization and the and having internet is can form on the cloud? No, but there is one more thing you must be thinking, right? Like how the AWS portal is there, right? There is a website and you don't see in the background. So there is some automation also in the background which brings this website. So for example, just to give an example of Amazon shopping, you select the t-shirt size or you select the clothing side, you select the color and you place the order, right? Now there is automation, no? Because this order is going to the Amazon retailer. Everything automation is linked. Is there anyone to do it manually? No, it is going to retailer. Retailer will deliver to your address, right? Only that is the physical job. But whatever website you are seeing, whatever clicks you are doing on the Amazon shopping website is the automation. So the cloud is ultimately combination of all these things: virtualization plus automation plus internet. Of course, you have an app Google Drive in your mobile and you don't have internet. Is the use of Google Drive, you cannot access your storage, right? So that's the logic. Again, automation is already there because they are only providing you Google Drive. You open Google Drive, you see the many options. But once you click on any of the menu, what is happening in the background? Who is doing that? So Amazon has already configured automation for that, right? Similarly, if we build a private cloud of our just again to the SSGMCE website, now we have a library online facilities there on portal. But who has done this? That once you click online library, the ebook should get virtualized and will be presented for you to read, right? So that is one automation that someone has to configure that. Who does that? That is a cloud architect job. The cloud architect from college will do all these things. Similarly, in the industries, we have position. Similarly, what I am doing for my customer, we have developed our own cloud here for my customer. I will cover that example in the next slide, guys. Okay. Now, as I told you, many vendors in the market provide virtualization, but since VMware is the most trending one or most running one virtualization platform in the market, uh, uh, I am showing this example. So each virtualization have their different names. So as I told you, and also providing the cloud platform also. So if we buy this entire product from VMware, we can create our own cloud. We have a data centers, then we virtualize it, okay, and then we create this portal for end user. Now end user come and just click on this. This is not clear, but I will show in the demo. User will just click, I want this server, Linux server. Just click and submit. Uh, my company user will not be able to know. We will not know what is happening, where this server is getting provision. But as a cloud architect, you know because you have configured it, right? So that's the background. AWS and Azure, you never or even I don't know what I know the technologies they are using, but we don't care. Why we care? Because they are providing as a service and we just have to purchase it and use it, right? But in our industry, if we are developing our own cloud, then we have to take care of everything, the background infrastructure also, right? So also we can combine this platform, VMware platform with the hybrid, the public cloud also. So we can have a combination of some servers kept here and some server kept in the AWS cloud. Um, okay, this is all. This is the product name actually, vCloud Foundation from VMware. So these last three slides are more specific to VMware only, and you no need to keep these names in the mind. That's okay. This is specific to vendor. If you go to any other vendor, BMC, they will have their different name, but the underlying technology is always same. See, vSAN, I told you, we virtualize the storage, right? This is vSAN. So you can have vSAN is a generalized concept used by all the vendors in the hyperconverged market now. Okay, interesting one now. Example of now mostly I will go to the till now I was giving you examples of our institute and our university. However, the industry industry cloud is something like that in today's world. For example, this is one organization. Let's take an example of TCS or IBM or anyone. This has one building in Pune. Okay, this building is having one data center here. Okay, now one more building is there in Mumbai. Okay, for example, this is maybe this building doesn't have data center because of storage, because there is space crunch in Mumbai. Let's say, for example, so this company, these users or this company employees want to access the virtual machines which are stored in this data center. So this can have a connection. Obviously, this will go over internet because, okay, now before I go to this, now the employees sitting in the same building in Pune can access the data center there over local networks, right? So now they are also accessing cloud here within the building itself. So it is not internet, right? It is not going outside the building. It is just within the network, right? So the definition of internet justifies here? No. That's why the first slide, if you remember, I give definition like internet or intranet. So this is the scenario where it is intranet. Now this is all, this is going to internet, but this is connected or secured connection because this TCS in Mumbai and TCS in Pune are the same companies and they can have their private network, they can have secure network. So this can also access resources here. Okay, so this combined this example of private cloud. Now some new project came in TCS and they don't have any server hardware in data center available to suffice this requirement. Okay, no, but it is urgent project. Now what TCS will decide? Let's go to AWS or Azure here. Okay, and buy some hardware from them. So they will take infrastructure as service from here. However, the cloud portal, which was developed by the architect of TCS, is always visible to these employees here and here. They will always see the same portal. They will not know where the server is going to be placed. But because of resource crunch, the TCS has purchased some hardware from AWS, right? So this is an example of this only this is example of public cloud. However, combining this cloud which TCS has made or the portal this running here is actual example of hybrid cloud, right? Now, I think you understood this concept now very well. Now, this for any other companies, third company, they don't have any hardware. This is new company, and this startup company, and they don't want to purchase because purchasing hardware is costly for them to initial investment. So they what they can do, they can directly go to AWS and they can directly started developing their application on the AWS. Of course, they have to pay for that. AWS has a charging model also. In fact, that is more that cost more than the infrastructure keeping it here. Okay, guys. Now you must be having one question. Now, who decides whether to go with public cloud or private cloud? Why and where in the industry at least? So, guys, let me tell you. When it's public cloud, it's always internet. So this is not secure approach for at least some of the confidential data for some of the customers. For example, banking, right? Banking cannot have their internet account details to be flow through and vice versa from your office building to public cloud, right? This cannot be secure. So these kind of industries generally prefers private cloud data center. Also, the companies who has a large requirement, they are like the one customer I'm working for is like a 2500 virtual machines we are managing. Okay, and I'm the cloud architect for them, and I'm managing their cloud portal. I have created the cloud portal. I have done the automation for that. So this portal is providing to the 10 group companies. This my company has a 10 group companies. However, they all are accessing and the servers are being placed physically here in the one building itself, one data center we called it, right? So my customer will never willing to go with this kind of because they have very secure and confidential data. However, the application which are not which doesn't require more security, for example, just hosting a normal website, they can quickly go to the public cloud and go for that. Okay. So basically, my company model comes into private cloud, and we are using VMware solution to do the automation for that. Just for you to know, to hear the words guide, not necessary to remember all these things, but remember the concept of public and private cloud. That is more important. Don't remember VMware. It's okay. There are many competitors of VMware also. It depends on customer to customer what they want to buy. Okay, but whether we should go for public or private cloud, for that you need to understand what is public and private cloud, and that is the best example of it, right? So let's move to the next slide. Same again, I mean similar example. This is company, we called it on premises. This is local network, and data center is placed in this company building itself. The accessing or this is private cloud. However, they want to go to AWS or Azure or Google platform. It is going through internet, and this is a public cloud. However, there is one separate portal of company which is common for them. They submit request here. Now it will go either here or it will go either here, right? So that kind of solution is a hybrid cloud because this company is using both. If we cut this part, sorry. If we cut this part from this diagram, so only company's private cloud remains, right? This is managed within company, within company's data center. I think, and these are the services which I already explained you like a 3 slides, including pizza slide. Okay, so let's move next. Okay, guys. Now again, I hope I was not more theoretical. I tried to give you more realistic examples, or during the session I wanted you to have like a real time. You can imagine how the companies will be there in data centers will be there in Pune or Mumbai. Or just I want you to imagine. That's how we can learn these things. Now I actually want to show you the demos also for all these technologies. So mostly I will cover the VMware one. I was talking to you about VMware one, how VMware also I explained you right. VMware also provide virtualization and also provide a cloud platform. So combination of virtual automation is VMware's one product, which is vCloud Foundation. Okay, and public cloud you already know. So I will go through the first how actually it is. Okay, what's time now?
It's 5 to 12, sir.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let me give, because this is important to have overview of. So we have online resources available to, if you want to study any product. Okay. Meanwhile, let me. Meanwhile, also start AWS one. Meanwhile, also start the Azure one. So these are all cloud portals provided by the respective cloud service provider. Now, as I told you, 1 second, let me sign in. Is that it's difficult to remember all these credentials. Okay. Okay, so we are here now. Now, guys, this is VMware's private cloud platform, basically. So now we have a physical data center. Now we have to provide our employees working in the company a cloud platform, right? So as I told you, it is a mixture of virtualization and automation. So for virtualization, I was showing you the diagram, right? That the hypervisor is used and the physical server is placed in data center, and the vCenter is the management platform. Maybe I told you not to remember names because you cannot remember everything in one session only. When you actually start to learn VMware technology, VMware itself is a one big technology. Virtualize itself is a very big technology, and cloud itself is a very vast technology, right? So it's not a one day or cup of tea to learn in one session. But however, you have a glance of all these things. You have a high level overview. So you always going further, you can relate your study with reference to these things, right? So now, as I was telling you, there is one diagram. uh, I presented one diagram here for you guys, the VMware's automation diagram, right? Yeah, this one. This one. See, this is the physical servers, and hyperconverged will have a storage in virtual SAN. Then VMware A6i is the hypervisor name from VMware, and then it is managed by a vCenter server, which is vSphere client. Okay, the same things, guys, you can see in the lab. Can you see now? This is the vCenter server. Okay, and these are the ESXi servers, which are actually physically kept in data center. They have some RAM and CPU. This is a lab, so that's why it has just 4 CPUs and some RAM. RAM is like 16 GB or something like that. Similarly, we have other physical nodes. Similarly we can have a many physical nodes in one cluster. Now the virtual machines can rotate among all these clusters. So you can see this node is having some VMs. This node is having some virtual machines, their names. This is having some virtual machines. This is having some virtual machines, right? So these all virtual machines, maybe the number is like 15, 20 virtual machines are being created from only 3 physical boxes, which is kept in data center. So this is virtualization. And And the technology which is used to create virtualization is the VMware vSphere technology. Similarly, other many service provider in the market, many virtualization softwares are there in the market, but this is one from VMware. So and the conceptually all are same. So now they will have storage also, data store. They called it as data store. So this is the virtual SAN. So this storage will be present in all the three nodes also. See, this is common. So that's why in case of any failure, now you see the red mark. So for example, one node fails, the virtual machines from this can move to the another node. For example, this is 3 A603, right? So for example, there is virtual machine and I want to move this to, I can do manually also, or there is automation already in the place which can migrate in case of failure, right? So I can migrate the resource. I can migrate it to the another node because this has also the same storage available. This has also, so it's kind of centralized storage. Again, the topology, hardware topology here is, here is that slide. The hyperconverged, which I explained you on the paint. This one, the box is combining of storage and, right? So I'm explaining you both the things, hardware part also and the software part also. So this is now guys, this is virtualization. But now I want to give employees a portal. They don't have to. Traditionally, what used to happen, the request was coming to administrator who is administration for this platform. And then he used to create here. He used to do the new virtual machine. Same you do in your virtual box or somewhere, right? So here it is the same. But this was a manual process and it used to take a time and everything manual. There are chances of error. Now, what automation and cloud has done is we have another tool from VMware which actually does automation and cloud, right? Basically, it does automation to bring one platform. So end user or consumer don't have to worry about what's there in the background, what's running in the background. So, for example, the end user will see the something page like this. So now I was talking to you private cloud, private cloud. So private cloud website can be something like that, which can be accessed within company. I mean, we can give our own names. So this will, the user will see this catalog only. OK, user can select their choice, whatever he want. Linux server, just click here. Just user friendly GUI for this. This is also configured for cloud architect. These names, this project field, this everything is part of automation. Whatever he put details here, user. For example, test VM operating system. You can select Ubuntu 20, for example, server size. See, as we select t-shirt size on Amazon or clothing size, we can select here server size also medium. Now, medium, how much RAM and how much CPU in the medium size is already defined by administrator. OK, the one who is doing the architecture of this. Server name we can define app VM001. Mr. Sumit sir, we have like 5 to 10 minutes, right? I think we are running out of time, or we can.
No, yes, yes, yes. We can
We can extend,
continue.
right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
15
because
minutes we can continue.
yeah, this is also interesting for you guys to go through this platform, so you can become familiar with all these things and understand more clearly. And then, for example, some project code is there and they submit. So user doesn't know what is happening in the background, what virtualization is there. He just know that yeah, VM is getting created within 5 minutes. He will have his VM ready here, right? But what's there in the background? Background is here. This VM is getting created in this platform itself. If you see the log, 1 second, huh? Lab environment is very slow. OK. If you see in the log, after in some time, the VM this user has requested here, test VM will start getting created here in this platform. But does this user know what's happening in the background? Because this is a cloud portal for end user, right? So guys, just to again explain the same thing, cloud is an environment. Cloud is an environment which is a combination of virtualization plus automation. There is automation behind this all these clicks. There is automation. And of course, this is the VM, so it had to be placed somewhere. So it is getting placed here. Let me, it should have come to request to here automatically. So guys, this has made everyone's life easy. Now earlier the job we were doing manually by creating a new virtual machine is no longer needed. This job is reduced because of automation and cloud. It just one time configuration and everything work as automated as it should be in the today's digital world, right? So similarly, this VMware has functionality to integrate with the public cloud. Now I was giving example of Amravati University. So Amravati University can have a private cloud VMware tool, and also they can, for urgent requirement, they can integrate with AWS or Azure. So the portal is same for everyone, but the new college can request to the AWS machine, and this will not go here. This will not go to this data center. See, this task has come here. It is cloning from the template, right? So it is creating my virtual machine here based on the request I put here. So do I do as a consumer? Am I doing anything? Even as a cloud architect, am I doing anything here? No, because I have already configured this, already automation is there, right? So that's the industry. That's how industry is working using cloud platforms for their private use. And some industries don't want to go with this approach, the data center approach. They don't have to buy hardware for example, small companies, new companies, they will directly go to the AWS portal. Now this is the AWS. I will explain. I will come to here also, guys. So in this way, this virtual machine is ready for use to the user in just, it is still in progress, but in 2 to 3 minutes it should get complete. Meanwhile, we will jump to the AWS. Now, this is a public cloud portal. Now, just imagine what I explained you here with the AWS. Okay. Now, AWS is a company. They have their own cloud architects who has developed this cloud portal, right? They have developed it, and we everyone are a consumer for them unless and until we are working in AWS company, right? So the engineers who work in AWS company are contributing to some part of it. However, everyone, even the companies who are using AWS is a consumer for AWS, and AWS is a service provider. So you see, it is a long blue link list. Do you think what is this? These are all services provided by AWS. Maybe someone many of you have already logged into this portal, but this is guys free for 1 year. If you want to use, you can always create your account on AWS and you use your credit card. Just 2 rupees will be deducted and come back just for your security of AWS, because if you use services which are not free of charge, definitely they will produce a bill at the end of month. Okay, so while studying on AWS or any public cloud platform, be careful. You are not using any services which are actually chargeable for you, because you are studying it for, you are using it for study purpose. So now, as I told you, it is a combination of automation. So someone in AWS or the architect in AWS has done this automation to bring this page here. And what consumer is doing, just clicking. He wants server, he will click EC2. That's it. And AWS has a background virtualization running. They are not using VMware for virtualization. They are using Xen server from Citrix for virtualization. Also, they are using KVM from Red Hat. Okay, you can see all this information on Google. But as a consumer, we just go, we just launch instance. Then we, similar to what I showed in the VMware portal name, it is asking them. I will give test DB server, for example, just example, all are examples. Okay, which Windows I want this time. I don't want Linux this time, Windows. You can see here, free tier, free tier, free tier. So as soon as you open account with AWS, it is 1 year free tier account, 1 year from the date of you opened account. So all these services, all these servers, I mean, they are free. You can use them for 1 hour, 1 year. So you can do totally study here. You can 1 year is more than sufficient to study, and you can create another account always at the end of 1 year, another Gmail account or another email ID to create a new account. Okay. And then it is asking size. The way of asking size is different. T1 by T2 nano. They have see here one CPU, 0.612 GB memory, then 2 CPUs, but this is not free. So free is this one, for example, and that's it. We select all other things. There are many settings here, and then we click launch instance. So it is going to do the same thing as I did here for the test when we were. So now you understood the difference. Cloud is terminology wise, it is same. Everyone is using virtualization, everyone is saving, but the way of delivering it or way of presenting it could be different because they are using different technologies. Azure. Now Amazon guy or Amazon was saying virtual machine EC2, right? One second. I will tell you. All are same. If you learn this basic technology, you will see everyone is doing the same thing. Nothing rocket science in that. Cloud is not such a big thing if you understand the thing. He is saying EC2 for the virtual machine. Azure says virtual machine to virtual. It has a meaningful name. He is saying elastic compute cloud. That's why EC2. Azure is saying virtual machine. So the way of presenting is in the background. Azure also has some virtualization. They are using Hyper-V because it is their own. Microsoft Hyper-V is also virtualization platform. Then cloud, this Google Cloud again. what they will say? Maybe you have never logged into this portal, but this is Google Cloud portal, and you can see they are saying services instead they saying all products. Okay, it's way of there. Now the services, the virtual machine which Azure was saying and the EC2 which AWS was saying, now they are saying it compute engine. See, if you click on this product or this service, so I called by Google product in their cloud platform. Again, it is the same thing. Again, it is same thing. It will add the, because my free account has exhausted because I opened it last year only. I will not be able to proceed with the demo here. However, Azure if you want. So now just to give you again high level scenario, guys. For example, you want to do project in college and you don't have a laptop with that configuration, or also, or again, now you are completing projects. Maybe the guys who are in third year and next year you're planning to do can have something sort of that, because the when you do project inside your laptop, it's always within your laptop, right? And you have to show demo, you bring your laptop and you show your application running. You are not putting it anywhere. But if you take this free tier from AWS or Azure for 1 year and and take some virtual machine here, whatever you need for project, and you develop there, right? You develop there and you are also publishing at the same time on internet. So while showing demo, you can always show on internet. So you are doing combination of both things. You are also developing your application. Also at the same time, you are using cloud computing altogether. You understood my point? So that's the thing. In this way, you can be more familiar to uh, cloud technologies. So this is the Azure, guys. This is one of the short demo for creating virtual machines app VM or app server 001, for example. This is Central India location. The region and all that is, as I told you, all companies have data centers spread across the globe. India, Japan, US, UK, because in order to entertain a customer from India, they will not redirect our request to the US data center because the traffic will go over internet to all the long way, right? Because the bandwidth will be required more. So they have zones created. All cloud providers have this kind of structure. Okay, one second. We have select these. Now this is a Linux machine, so it is asking for password. No, sorry, this username. Root user. So this portal also ask us for the password for the virtual machines which we are going to provision. And this since this is a Linux. Yes, I have selected, I think, Linux, Ubuntu. Yes, and that's it. Very simple. You have other option to select also networking, but no need to go deep, at least in this session. If I will tell you, if in case you guys are interested to learn a technology specific, for example, AWS, right? So probably you can coordinate your with your faculty or staff, and I mean, as for my availability, will try to have another sessions particular specific to the technologies, just in case if you guys are interested. Any of you want to learn even the VMware in detail or even any of the private cloud platform in detail, definitely I would be willing to have, no worries. As per my availability also. Okay, so see, once I clicked on Azure, started deploying, but now even I cannot see the portal where sorry, the infrastructure where it is getting provisioned, because it is a public cloud. I don't know where is their data center in the background, right? I am also consumer for them. I am also consumer like you or any other company. So that's it. I am directly using this service. However, in this case of the VMware, I can see my infrastructure also in the background. I wanted to show you this just to explain the concept of virtualization. Similarly, this Azure is also has virtualization configured in the background. And this is Google Blueprint. So I think guys that was a short demo, very short demo actually. I wish we would have more time for this. I would have given you more explanation on this, but of course, because this is not so small technology to explain in 1 hour, 2 hour. But at least I wanted to give a high level overview of this and how the portal looks like. Everyone says AWS, AWS, but what is actually AWS? This is AWS. This is the portal. Everyone says Azure, but what Azure? How it looks like? And now coming back to the pizza slide or the other slide, which says IaaS, PaaS or SaaS. Now you will say we don't. Sorry, sorry for this one. Okay, now you will say you don't see here anything like IaaS or PaaS or SaaS. That's what those are the categories of the service. However, this is2 will come under category of IaaS. This is the S3 will come under capacity of storage, which is a platform as a service. And similarly for developers, already applications are there. So you can also learn Internet of Things, many applications. So guys, there are many things. The vast AWS is always adding services to the. When I saw the first time AWS portal, there were I think only this one row was there, only one row. But this in 10 years, you can see how many services they have developed. Everything AWS want to provide everything because everyone is competing each other. Azure want to be bigger than AWS. Google Cloud want to be bigger than both. So that's the competition in the market by them. But now it's up to us by understanding the pricing. Now I will just give example. Now forget about private cloud, but when it is public cloud only, how you decide which cloud provider to go for? No one is bad. All are good at their place. All are giants. Microsoft is giant, AWS is giant, Google is also a big giant, big company. Now, how will decide? The same like a shopping you do. You go to the Amazon, you select one product, for example, mobile, right? But if you see the price is not there, the discounts are not there. However, and also the retailer seller is not good, right? So you go to Flipkart, right? Similar is the approach you can have in the cloud computing also. There you are buying your regular stuff, here you are buying computing resources, so it's one and the same thing. That's why I told you at the very beginning of the session that every day you are unknowingly or knowingly you are using cloud in day-to-day life. And guys, I think I tried to cover most of the relevant example. I hope you like this short session on cloud and you were able to relate things much more to your day-to-day life or maybe your learning experience. And guys, always I will tell you, always try to learn the few things in cloud because this is the emerging technology. This is the trending one, and this is going to be helpful in your personal use also and everything. Of course, this cloud is also associated with the other technical terms like a domain, IP addressing, and uh, other things which I could not cover in this session because it's not possible within this short session. However, I think it is part of our syllabus also in the IT syllabus or computer science syllabus. We have this concept to learn. So some of those things what you are learning there is directly related here. The domain and all that are used, though I have not explained in this session, but they are used here. If we learn particular technology in detail, definitely we can go in those things in detail. But I hope you like this or you understood the conceptually what is virtualization and in its relation with cloud, and cloud is dependent on virtualization. And also the with the examples of AWS and Azure and Google, you understood the public cloud, I hope, and then private cloud with the VMware so example, and with our college and university example, at least you understood the models, and I hope so. So yeah, I think we can conclude the sessions here. But again, if you want to have any questions, definitely I am happy to answer you.
So let's open the platform for the
Yeah, yeah.
question. Now, whichever students are remaining with us, maybe interested student can definitely ask a few questions. So they can just post their question in the chat box if in case they have. Or what we can do is I will allow the mic for each and everyone now in the meeting. so that they can directly unmute and ask the questions if they have any. By the way, sir, I would like to let you know that we are here going to start a AWS classroom as well for the students, and I think they are going to get some accounts on the free basis for learning purpose through Amazon. It is an initiative from Amazon, and college
Great,
has
great.
also taken the thing for that.
Yeah, it's really great, great news for. So everyone will be getting opportunity to learn. Yeah.
Yes. So we are trying to let's say provide what you can say infrastructure and also guidance and support from our side as well, so that students can explore the
Yes,
cloud
yes.
computing area.
Yeah. So guys, whatever portal I showed you, AWS, you are going to jump to the same portal when it will be started in our college also. So you are getting good opportunities to learn these things at very early stage. Let me tell you, I started learning cloud even when I started actually entered the organization. So it's good news for you. You are getting to learn in college life itself. That's good. The practical hands-on on that technology. Yeah.
So is anyone having any question? I have provided access to mics as well. You may put your questions in the chat box if you have.
Yeah,
Just
guys,
wait
feel free
for.
to ask any question, any layman question. That's okay. I mean, anyone can have any question. That's okay. I will be able to answer. I think everyone understood it perfectly. It seems like.
Okay, so actually we don't have any question in the chat box, sir. So what I will do is like let's try to conclude this topic for now, and
Yeah,
maybe what we can do is like next time, if it is possible, we can create a list of some interested students which are really interested towards having some deeper look
yeah.
at the
Actually,
concepts,
yeah.
right?
Actually,
And
those
then we can
who
plan
are
a session
actually,
separately for them for detailed knowledge.
yeah. So we can jump to specific product and we can have a detailed session on that particular product. We can cover in one session, and the interested candidates can enroll for such kind of things. And you can reach the faculty guys, Mr. Sumit Budalkar
Yes,
sir, or
sure.
anyone.
I will
Yeah.
definitely take care of it. Once the Amazon AWS school maybe started, then probably we can plan one more session for the interested students in that.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, now
sure.
I would like request to Harshada. Harshada, are you there in the meeting? Please
Yes,
unmute. Yes. So you can just take the responsibility of representing your vote of thanks for today's lecture. Okay. Yes. Over to you, Arshad.
yes, sir. A warm and grateful morning. I, Harshada Sawant, on behalf of SSGMC and the entire fraternity of the institution, extend my most sincere thanks to Mr. Swapnil Bandwal, sir, for such an amazing session. We have learned a lot, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and enlightening us. I would also like to thank our principal, Dr. S.B. Somani, sir, for giving us permission to conduct this event. I also like to thank Dr. A.S. Manikas, sir, HOD of IT department. Also, faculty sponsor of ACM, Professor S.D. Padia sir, faculty advisor of ITSA, Professor B.R. Chinsolkar sir, and faculty coordinator, Professor S.S. Muddarkar sir. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the students for their amazing work to make this program successful, and also to our audience for their great coordination. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Harsha. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for inviting me here. And indeed, it was honor to me to deliver this session for you guys, to share my experience, professional experience with you guys. So yeah, we'll be looking forward to meet you guys again. In fact, I was refreshing my college days during these sessions. So that's also was good for me also. So nice meeting you all. I think we can conclude this session, right, Mr. Sumit
Yes.
sir? We can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can end. I'm
Okay.
going to end
Thank
the
you guys.
meeting.
All
Thank you
the
for
best.
your
If any,
valuable time
yeah,
and your expert
Thank
knowledge
you.
sharing. Sir. Thank you. Looking
yeah.
forward
Thank you guys.
for more informative sessions from you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now
Thank you. Thank you,
I'm
Sumit
going to
Budalkar
end
sir.
the meeting.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sumit Budalkar sir. Anyone want to reach for any queries? I have LinkedIn account just in case if you want to reach, or my personal email ID maybe Sumit Budalkar sir can share with you. So Thank you, guys. I will end this session from my side.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, sir.